Hi everyone, Danny here with another layout for the Cocoa Vanilla Studio design team. This week we have been challenged to use borders and frames as a theme for our layouts. So I have chosen this paper, it's called Wall of Fame from the These Days collection, and I have fussy cut all the little frames off that background. So I am going to do kind of a collage project with this layout. So I went through and fussy cut all those frames and printed out all the little photos I wanted to use. These are all from Mother's Day last year. And I'm going to go through with my craft knife and carefully cut out the center of all the frames that are going to have a photo inside. I did go through and kind of plan out where my photos were going to sit within the frames before I started. And I also have a second copy of this paper off to the side to refer to. Now, I actually made this layout quite a while ago, but I have been saving it for this themed week. And so you may notice that in some of the clips, you can see my long hair that is still present. It's actually all gone now. I cut it all off very short. But if you see that and are wondering what's going on, it's just that I made this layout. I made a bunch of them kind of one after the other when I first received the collection. And I've been saving some of them for some of the themes we have coming up. So this is one of those. So I've just gone ahead with those frames that I'm going to use to border my photos and added some adhesive and then stuck it straight down onto my photo so that I made sure I didn't cut off anything important in the photos, and then I've just trimmed off the excess with my little scissors there. So these are all the photo pieces. So I'm just going through now with all the frames and backing them with a rectangle of adhesive foam. And I'm going to do that with all the ones that don't have photos as well. So I want these all to sit up off the background paper nice and dimensional looking. And I did debate whether to use a plain background or whether to use a patterned background. I did decide on this one. It's called Good Life. I just really liked the color and I like that subtle pattern that's going on in the background that will peek out from between all the little frames. Now, as I'm adding the frames back to the page, I have got that second copy of this paper off to the side to refer to, and I'm also starting from the edge pieces and working my way in. So I'm just going to speed through this part, otherwise it'd be very tedious to watch. But you can see I've placed kind of my outside pieces and then I'm filling in the blanks. And there you can see my second piece of paper that I am referring to. I'm also going to use my ruler in a couple of places, just mainly to place the corner pieces. So getting those corner pieces in the right place is really going to help me position all the rest of those frames. So I am using my little ruler. This is probably a little more finicky than you need to be. I just really wanted to make sure that I got those pieces carefully placed on the corners. So there we go. I'm placing that down, and then I can kind of just space out those other ones evenly and stick them down. So I'm just using a tape runner adhesive on the back of my adhesive foam there. If you wanted to jazz this up even more, you could go through and distress the edges of some of those frames. I chose not to, just to save myself a bit of time. I'd already been fussy cutting quite a bit, as you can imagine. So I'll speed this bit up again a little bit faster so you don't have to sit through the whole thing, but just carefully positioning all those pieces, again working from the outside towards the center. And I'm really happy with how all this is looking. So once I've got all those positioned down, I'm going to pull out my embellishments and start decorating some of those blank frames. Now, I hadn't decided at this point whether I wanted to decorate all of those empty frames or leave some of them blank. In the end, I do decide to leave a few of them just empty as the page was getting quite busy in the end. So I pulled out these tiny puffies. I love these from this collection. They're so pretty. And I'm just going to use this larger empty frame to spell out Mother's Day. And I do have to split the word mothers in half. So it does kind of read Mothers Day. That might bother some people. I did debate very briefly as to whether I would change it, but I couldn't think of another way to do it, and it really doesn't bother me. It's my album and it doesn't worry me, so I'm just going with it. I did stagger it so it didn't look quite so strange, but yeah, I'm happy with it in the end. I'm just going to finish off that frame with this roller date stamp and some dark charcoal ink to stamp the date. And then I'm pulling out my embellishments. So I pulled out the clear stickers. I think this might have been the first time I was using them. I've used them quite a bit actually for someone who isn't the biggest fan of clear stickers generally. This collection I'm just finding them really easy to use. They're really small and sweet. So I popped in that little tree and the butterfly. Some of these photos are from the lunch we had, and some of them are from the walk in the park afterwards. So there is pictures of trees in there. So this collection is absolutely perfect. There's lots of nature-themed elements, trees and butterflies and things like that. So I pulled out the accessory stickers again. I think this is for the first time I was using them. And I'm snipping this one in half. I love to do that with the tiny phrase stickers. I really love doing that. And this one I'm just going to layer up a couple of those perfect sentiments for this day. And then I will add, I think here I was trying to decide whether I was going to move that little green flag. I don't like it there, and I do end up moving it. So I'm just going to pop some of those little hearts in that circle one. And there we go. I am moving that flag, and I've just turned it on its side, but I will move it again in a second. It was just bugging me up there. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm just staring at it, trying to decide. I move on, but I will come back to it in a minute. So I'm pulling out all the ephemera here. I pull out the little, it's like a jug, and not a jug, a watering can, and it was full of flowers, but I did snip it in half for another layout. I didn't end up using either of the pieces, but I'm going to get both of those snipped in half pieces on this layout, so I'm happy about that. And as you saw, I did move that flag down to that bottom frame. I can't explain why that was bothering me so much. But you can see here I am adding that top snipped in half part of that watering can die cut to that top frame there. Pretty little sprig of flowers. And that is going to be my layout finished. Like I said, I did debate on decorating some more of those empty frames, but I decided it was looking busy enough and I was happy with it as it was. So that is everything. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.